Have you ever stopped to think about how much we understand in a conversation that isn't, well, actually said? It's like we're constantly building these little invisible mental bridges to connect the words we hear with what the speaker really means. Today, we're going to dive into that amazing process. It's called inference. So let's start with a weird little puzzle. How on earth can a spinach salad possibly refer to a person? I mean, it sounds like complete nonsense, right? But as you're about to see, we talk like this all the time. And here it is in the wild. Picture a waiter asking another waiter this exact question. We get it instantly, don't we? Nobody thinks the salad literally grew legs and walked over to the door. Our brain just does something extra, automatically, to make it all make sense. That something extra has a name. It's inference. It's all the extra information that we, the listeners, bring into the conversation. It's the secret ingredient that closes that gap between the words somebody says and what they actually mean. Okay, so this is the key formula for everything we're talking about today. Think of it like a blueprint for that mental bridge. You take what is literally said, you add the inference your brain provides, and boom, you get what is truly meant. Let's see how it works. We're going to break down a couple of everyday examples, starting with our restaurant puzzle, just to see how often we're using this incredible mental tool without even realizing it. All right, so using our little formula, what was said was the spinach salad, a plate of food. But what was meant was obviously the customer who ordered that salad. So the real question is, how did our brain connect those two things so fast? This right here is the mental bridge. It's this unwritten rule that we all just know. In a busy restaurant, a food order can stand in for the person who made it. Our brains are all about these little shortcuts. They're super efficient and save us from having to say things like, "Where's the person who ordered the spinach salad sitting?" Okay, let's try another one. Imagine you hear someone say, "Can I look at your Chomsky?" Again, we know they're not asking to literally stare at the famous linguist Noam Chomsky. And would you look at that? It's the exact same pattern. The words say a person's name, Chomsky, but the meaning points to a thing connected to that person, in this case, one of his books. And there's the inference that makes it all click. We share this understanding that an author's name can stand for their work. So the big takeaway here is that this isn't just some random language quirk, it's a repeatable pattern. And this pattern, using names to represent things associated with them, it's incredibly common, especially when we talk about artists, designers, and creators of all kinds. I mean, just listen to these examples. You hear stuff like this all the time. Jennifer isn't literally wearing the man, Calvin Klein. We're not seeing the actual ghost of Picasso at the museum. In every single case, a name is being used as a stand-in for a product or a work of art. And the really cool thing about this is realizing that your brain isn't solving dozens of unique puzzles here. No, it's just applying one single powerful pattern over and over again. So the underlying pattern is actually pretty simple. You take a name, which we associate with a creator, and you use it to talk about their work or their product. This one little rule is the key your brain uses to unlock all those sentences in a split second. All right, you've seen the pattern. You know the formula. So now it's your turn to put it to the test. I'm going to give you a sentence, and I want you to find that mental bridge. Let's start with this one. We saw Shakespeare in London. So think about it for a second. What's actually being said and what's really being meant? So, did you get it? What was said was a person's name, Shakespeare. But what was meant was a play by Shakespeare. The inference there is that a creator's name can stand for a performance of their work. Nice. Okay, let's do one more, a little faster this time. Mozart was playing in the background. What's the bridge here? Of course, what's said is Mozart, the person, but what's meant is music composed by Mozart. You're totally seeing the pattern now. The composer's name stands for his creation. So, let's zoom out. What's the big takeaway from all of this? I mean, why does understanding inference even matter? Here's the bottom line. Understanding a language is so much more than just memorizing dictionary definitions. It's about using context, using our shared knowledge of how the world works, and using these mental patterns to figure out what people truly mean. This quote really just nails it. To be a great communicator, you have to look past the literal words. This is also why we have misunderstandings sometimes. It's when two people build their mental bridges to different places. Learning to spot the speaker's true intent, well, that's the real secret to great communication. And the thing is, inference is just one type of hidden information we rely on every single day. So, what else are we taking for granted in our conversations without even thinking about it? Well, that's a question we'll start to answer next time when we dive into something called presupposition.